Have you ever felt like your emotions were the actual biggest obstacle when trying to communicate or sell or pitch? Well, one of the biggest ways to be more confident and charismatic is actually not to add personality traits or techniques, it's actually to remove all of it. I'll get to this in a minute. In the meantime, I would just recommend that you subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to get more videos on everything persuasion, how to sell, how to pitch, how to negotiate, how to prevent manipulation, and a lot more. Anyway, onwards to the topic. At the end of the day, when you have too many emotions, when you're sensitive to the good or bad, and you're trying to be more confident and detach from those emotions, a lot of people are going to tell you to force yourself, to pump yourself up. Just be more positive, just do more things, just feel more confident. In reality, you should not be fighting to achieve some sort of high state. You should be relaxing and discarding it all. You should be focusing on indifference. That is our goal. Because if you are indifferent, then confidence just comes naturally. You don't want to be actively confident, you want to be passively indifferent. You really just don't care. Of course, you always do your best in a communication situation, but you're not caring about every single reaction that you get or every single emotion that the person demonstrates and so on. So you don't go from nervous by force to confident by force. You go from nervous by force to indifferent with relaxation, if that makes sense. That is, you don't want to add more stuff, you just want to discard all of it. That's how you reach kind of the nirvana of communication, the mindful state of communication. And there are a couple of ways to do this. Well, the first one is to detach from your own emotions. What I mean by this is the following. All of us feel that our emotions are too personal. If I'm feeling depressed, if I'm feeling angry, if I'm feeling passionate, it's something that is intrinsically me. When in reality, it's just a set of chemical reactions based on certain triggers. In many cases, we don't even control our emotions. So it's completely reasonable to think these emotions are present in my body, but they're not me. I don't identify with them and I don't associate with them. It's like you were in Airbnb and there are the guests that come, stay for a little while, and then go away, if that's a useful metaphor. But at the end of the day, you want to detach from those emotions. Are you feeling well? Doesn't matter. Are you feeling sick to your stomach because you're so nervous? Doesn't matter. You detach from those emotions. Your emotions just kind of become the context. You are acting on that foundation, but the foundation doesn't really matter because you are going to follow your process anyway. You are going to pitch like you usually pitch, you are going to be charismatic like you're usually charismatic, and you are not going to affect your specific mood get in the way of that. Then, another related method is to detach from good and bad consequences. What I mean by this is the following. Have you ever noticed that in certain cases, even if you make a brilliant sales pitch, you still don't close? Or even if you make an amazing presentation, if the crowd is very difficult, you're not going to get a standing ovation or possibly not even a single clap. At the end of the day, you being good at a certain process and the results that come from that process are not necessarily attached. They're not necessarily related. So what you want to do is you want to focus on following the process with the maximum efficiency that you can. You want to focus on giving the best speech, the best pitch, whatever it is, but you don't really care about whether the results are good or not. It's like you're executing the same program, the same system, the same routine, and the results are going to come on average, but you're not focusing, you're not hypersensitive to this specific presentation or this specific sales pitch. If it goes well, it goes well. But if it doesn't go well, then it's going to go well on average for the next couple of months. That's how you detach from hypersensitivity. One of the top leadership experts, Jocko Willink, has a saying that I really like, which is he just replies good to everything, like a neutral good. Well, did the presentation go well? Good. Did the presentation go badly? Good. Did you close the person? Good. Did you crash and burn? Good. Because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Yes, you want to do your best, you want to rehearse, you want to prepare, you want to know the advantages of the product or offering or whatever, you want to have your social skills at their best, but at the end of the day, you follow that process. And once the process is done, the results are not due to you. If they don't like it, that's not your fault. Of course, you have to, for example, overcome objections and so on, but you don't identify with the consequences. They're not angry because of you. They're not raving because of you. They're not passionate because of you. You're just following a process and it may have good or bad consequences. Those are not of your concern. And then you also want to focus on indifference, both in the short term and the long term. When you are focusing on indifference in the short term, it's all about the reactions that you show, or in this case, that you don't show. In my executive presence and charisma framework, I have a principle that I call grace under fire. And grace under fire is the capability to take a punch to the face, metaphorical or not, and not show a single reaction. Somebody tells you your project sucks, and you say, very well. Somebody tells you, you are garbage, you are the worst presenter I have ever seen, and you say, you know what, that's interesting, thank you. You literally do not show a reaction. You never let them see you sweat. So in the moment, what you want to do is you want to not show a reaction, because remember, it doesn't matter your thoughts or your emotions. You could have the darkest thoughts possible or the worst emotions possible, but if you don't let it show, they are never going to know. okay? So you don't let it show. That's in the short term. But in the long term, you want to notice what we just talked about the averages. That is, this specific presentation is not going to make or break your career. This specific pitch is not going to make you a millionaire salesperson or a millionaire entrepreneur. At the end of the day, you have a process and a refined process. If your pitch is good, then you are going to get results in the long term. But you are not focusing, you're not hypersensitive about this specific pitch or this specific presentation. 2 years from now or 10 years from now, are you even going to care about this pitch? Are you even going to remember it? Be honest, if you do the pitch this afternoon next week, are you even going to remember it? That's the key here. You just want to be good on average. If you have a refined process and you just follow it, if you have a script for a pitch, or if you just have a specific process for how you sell or how you negotiate, at the end of the day, you are going to get results. But this specific situation should not be an indicator of your value, good or bad. Right? Just like you don't want to be affected by bad results, you don't want to be affected by good results either. There's that saying that a good salesperson makes a great sale and you feel happy, but a great salesperson makes a good sale and you feel nothing. That's exactly it. You do not want to be affected by either good things or bad things in the short term or long term. If you like these techniques, I would recommend that you take a look at the Improving Communication Skills playlist, where I focus on how to improve your pitching, your speaking, your negotiation, and more in terms of body language, in terms of your voice, and a lot more.